Chelsea academy system. The manager is Karen Hills, but she is not here tonight. She shares duties with Juan Amoros, the Spaniard, and Karen Hills is self-isolating. So it is just Amoros down there on the touchline tonight. Another former Blue in Gemma Davison amongst the substitutes. Do you think it's going to just be a case of Spurs looking to contain the Chelsea threat in the early stages? We saw how important those early goals were in the first game for Chelsea.
Yeah, certainly for the opening minutes of the game. I think, you know, they won't want to concede early on, because we've already seen this season so far. If you give Chelsea, you know, opportunities early doors and they take them, you know, it's a long way back. So I'm sure Tottenham will be compact, resolute, really disciplined in what they do, and try and make it as hard as they can for Chelsea. But I think Chelsea will be expecting that. They know that, you know, they've already shown that goals can come from all over in this team. So I think they expect most oppositions to prove that problem.
It is about as strong as Emma Hayes could go. Bethany England amongst the substitutes, maybe the only player who you would say would have come in. But if it is a midfield three of Ji-So Young, Melanie Leupolz and Erin Cuthbert, then that could be where the game is won and lost. The fact that Spurs haven't got Alex Morgan maybe changes their approach as well. They're desperate to get her fit and on the pitch, but not available tonight. That would give them the attacking outlet that maybe they don't have naturally otherwise.
Yeah, that's it. I think they're looking for a focal point. I think they're looking for that striker to take the responsibility on. But yeah, as and when that may be, we don't know.
As has become customary in the WSL, the players take a knee before the game. We're just about ready to go. Spurs in their change strip of all yellow. A London derby, one of those occasions where we miss the supporters more than most. But everybody knows what's on the line tonight. Chelsea have won every previous meeting that they've had with Tottenham, albeit this is only the sixth. Spurs only came up into the WSL, the top flight of English women's football, for the first time last season. G just took a little kick there, and she's had a look at the referee, who is Emily Heaslip. It's often the case, isn't it? If you can stop G, you can stop Chelsea, and she can become a target because of that.
That's right. G's so pivotal in everything that Chelsea does. She's so composed on the ball. Remembering having played with her in 2014, you know, I think every single season she's improved. The commentator's curse there, she's just given the ball away. But yeah, she really is. She's so composed, wants the ball at every opportunity, because she can really create something out of nothing.
Here's Cuthbert. She's had a good start to the season as well, injury-free now. Scotland international. And the bulk of this side played when Chelsea lifted this trophy at the City Ground earlier this year. Feels like a lifetime ago now, mind you. Here's Mielda. Mentioned it was a big time for her over the international break. 150 caps for her country, incredible. If you missed the news, by the way, it has been confirmed that the WSL and the Championship, the tier below, will continue throughout the lockdown that we're about to enter this week. Spurs hammered 6-1 by Arsenal in the North London derby in their most recent match. It was more recent than Chelsea's. It's nearly a month since the Blues have played. Here's Magda Eriksson, the Chelsea skipper. Saw Erin Cuthbert on the Chelsea website earlier, Laura, talking about moving the ball quickly, and that's something that when you've got a bit of fatigue in the legs, if you've been travelling around the world, that the tendency can be for that not to happen.
Yeah, that's right. It's really important. And I think early confident touches, I think they'll be wanting to move the ball, get good confident touches for everybody in the team, and really start making your passing connections, really start the intent, pass it, you know, forward, take the game to Tottenham tonight.
G had a little look over her shoulder before she got it there, just in case she was going to get a whack. Still getting used to G with blonde hair. Here's Mielda. Harder moving it on quickly. Mielda loves to join the attack. Played it in field to Charles. She's moved it on quickly to Sam Kerr. She not seeing any room for a shot from distance. Arda's ball in, easily dealt with that time. Here's Lupols, came in from Bayern Munich in the close season. Captain there, captain of Germany on occasion too. Lupols again. In from Mjelde. Easy for the goalkeeper to gather it. As we expected, first 4 minutes, Chelsea in possession for the lion's share of it.
Yeah, I think we can see also as well the free role that Harder's got, especially in possession. You know, she's got the license to drop deep, to connect the ball, turn and make things happen, and she can go on the left and right. So that's really important. She's going to be pivotal to join the attack, you know, from the deeper players to start feeding Sam Kerr.
There was a foul on Lupols, but Chelsea were in possession anyway. Wondered if the ref might revisit it. Apparently not. It was definitely a foul by Lupols, who maybe had revenge on her mind.
I think so. I think also, you know, we've seen already this season, this right-hand side with Mara Mjelde and Fram Kirby, how, you know, they were sensational. Their partnership has really been so dominant down this right-hand side. But also it's really, you know, interesting now to see Niamh Charles come in that role, in the Fram Kirby role. You know, she's such a bright talent, so much potential. Her crossing ability, you know, I'm sure she'll be looking to feed the balls into Sam Kerr because she has got such a great delivery on the run.
Yeah, managers always get frustrated when their players come back from international duty with an injury, but when they come back having not even managed to play the game, that's got to be doubly annoying.
Yeah, you know, especially with the form that Fran Kirby was in, absolutely sensational, back to her best, thoroughly playing with a smile on her face, being, you know, so clinical, so effective in her role for the team. Really disappointing, but fingers crossed you know, she'll recover well and won't be out for too long.
Rare chance for Spurs to attack here. And the shot hit Bright. Oh, that's a potentially nasty clash of heads there. Millie Bright has been penalised. Spurs have got a free kick in a good position. Thankfully, it looks as though Angela Addison, the Spurs player, isn't too badly hurt.
It's a good spell for Tottenham. Rosella Rayana managed to get a shot away, but well blocked by Millie Bright. But I think all credit to both players. They both had eyes on the ball. I don't think there was anything malicious there. But obviously the referee spotted the mistimed. But both players definitely had the eyes on the ball.
Now, we said Spurs maybe a little bit light up front, therefore they'll be looking to make the most of any set-piece opportunity like this, and a chance to test Ann-Katrin Berger. It's a pretty formidable wall to try and get through. Looks like Ayan is a decoy here.
Magda, fill the gap. Behind the wall. There. Behind the three. Behind the three.
Spurs building a wall next to Chelsea's wall. Can't be part of it these days, of course.
Stay.
It's a decent effort as well. It's come back off the post. Harris trying to put the rebound in, and it came back and smacked her in the face. And Chelsea have got away with it. Well, all Berger could do was stand and watch that. It was really travelling. Terrific hit.
Siri Vorm, I think, has a lot of responsibility in the Tottenham side, especially with set pieces. She's got a really good technical left foot. You know, she has a lot of responsibilities from set pieces, and you can certainly see why. I think that's a big warning for Chelsea to, you know, this Tottenham side, you know, they're not going to give the game to them. They're going to have to work hard, and they're going to be dangerous from set pieces.
They asked Siri to take the free kick, and she almost came up with the right answer. There's Mjelde feeding one down the line for Charles. Onside here, got Kerr in the middle. Decent cut back as well. They needed the last-ditch touch. And then she's shot comfortably gathered up by Becky Spencer.
A really nice partnership forming on this right-hand side, like I was mentioning earlier.
An inch or two the other way. I don't think Berger was keeping that out.
No, that's right. But I think all credit to Magdalena Eriksson. Reacted well first to this second ball. Good clearance. Because you've got to stay alive. As soon as that ball, you know, is into the second phase, it's really important for the defenders to stay alive and clear their lines.
Chelsea ball this time. This was good running from Charles. She was looking for Kerr, but there's plenty of other support in there too.
It was a really good cross. I think he was just waiting for someone to make a midfield run, a timed run, just to connect with it and just to side foot it in. But she's already shown her danger down this right-hand side if she can get in behind the fullback.
Well, she's managed to pinch it back, but laid it off. Here's Jonna Andersson. Oh, right across the face of goal. There at the back post, or anybody else who could have got a touch, and it surely would have been 1-0.
There's a good run from Jonna Andersson. She holds a run, waits for Erin Cuthbert to draw Neville, and then just slides her through.
Becky Spencer had a couple of years at Chelsea, played for West Ham as well, the Spurs keeper. It wasn't her best clearance. You could hear Juana Moros there just making the point that wasn't Millie Bright's first foul. That is one of maybe the only benefit of not having supporters in the stadium, is that you get a real insight into what's going on down on the touchline.
I think it works both ways. I think media can hear managers what they're saying, but also managers can hear media and what they're saying, the positives and negatives.
Media may be a little bit better at watching their P's and Q's. Bright fouled on that occasion by Rihanna Dean, who is the spearhead of the Spurs attack. Bowls. Good take from Mjelde under pressure. Skipping away from the challenge as the Chelsea right back. Didn't get a pass right, but got lucky with the deflection off Leon. Eriksson. It's a great ball out to the right wing. Good header from Charles as well. They're turning it around the corner and Charles will get there, but the flag has gone up.
There's a really good look by Harder to have the vision to draw that many players around the ball, around her, to see that, to the vision to see that space. Look, you can see she gets in between the lines, in between the defence and midfield, picks up the ball. It's a good idea, it's a good probe. And again, Niamh Charles will be looking for that next time and hopefully time her run a little bit better.
What a great way for her to learn as well, Niamh Charles. Only 21. She's playing up there with Sam Kerr, widely thought of as one of the best strikers in the women's game, and Pernilla Harder, the UEFA Women's Player of the Year for 2020.
Exactly, they're going to talk you through the game, you can learn off them, you can teach them things as well, but also playing in front of Maren Mjelde, you already said she's vastly experienced, won 150th cap, qualified for the Euros on the same day with the Norwegian team, so, to play in front of that much experience, knowledge, will bring her game on, so fast.
Well, Chelsea have had a couple of chances in the opening 13 minutes, but Spurs have come closest, hitting the bar, the post through that Worm free kick. Cross is too close to Berger. And Berger's throw to Mjelde was quickly hunted down, and Spurs have got themselves a throw. going to be Verm to take it, the Dutch international who came in from Everton last year. Addison. Everybody appeals, decision goes Chelsea's way. Charles back there doing a defensive duty, but Byrne managed to get the cross in, albeit not very far before Bright repelled it. Berger came and got that decisively. Beth in England who got the goals in the final last year, but Catherine Berger played just as big a part. Some magnificent saves in the game against Arsenal. Here's Harder. Cuthbert making her way into the middle to join Sam Kerr. Harder to the byline, don't think she kept that in, no. Bit of interchanging between Harder and Kerr in those two front positions alongside Charles.
Yeah, and I think also with Charles and Cuthbert, I think they have the licence to interchange, come in field. If Charles comes in field, Kerr can go, you know, out and make a channel run. So I think they're really fluid, really confident, really fluid. They know their roles well. You know, and I think Emma Hayes would be more than happy for them to see them do that.
Addison in the walls again here, right in front of the Tottenham coach. No free kick, just a throw in.
If she goes low, please stay inside. If she goes low, if.
Here's Anderson. Nice ball around the corner from Charles. Harder picked it up. G moved it on. Spurs with plenty of numbers back behind the ball. It's up to Chelsea to try and find a way through them.
I think you can hear Emma Hayes saying wider, keep it wider, and going from side to side, you need to keep it moving quick with intensity, because these Tottenham side, they're compact, they're really disciplined, and they're going to try and reduce the spaces in between the units for Chelsea to play in, which Cuthbert likes to play in, Harder likes to come and join in, and we've seen Charles likes to come into those spaces, so they're really going to try and deny those. So it's going to take a lot of patience from Chelsea, moving the ball as quick as possible.
Mielder's pass was just a little strong for G to bring under control, but Leupolz has got it back now. Floated a great ball in for Harder. She was unselfish, and Kerr couldn't quite finish it off. Would have been a lovely goal. Chelsea have had a couple of opportunities. This maybe the pick of the bunch so far for Kerr. Defender did just about enough, I think.
Yeah, it was really good vision from Leupolz, and quite cheeky to try that flick. But it's a great run. You can see Harder on the shoulder, ready to receive that. I just don't think Kerr could quite connect with it. But I think it's the reaction when they lose the ball. Emma Hayes will be looking for a quick reaction, win it back, counter press, get bodies round. Because if you win these second balls against the Tottenham side, you'll prevent them having possession.
Addison took a heavy touch and Bright was able to get it clear. Pass dispossessed. Oh, I bet Juan Amoros set his team a couple of targets, and one of them would have been to get to 20 minutes. They're almost there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think every time Tottenham lose possession of the ball, they're really disciplined. They get straight lines, back in a compact shape, back in their own half, to really try and frustrate Chelsea.
Josie Green's flick. Anderson up to Kerr. Good tenacity from Kerr to win it back. And Harder went down under the challenge, which was right under the referee's nose.
It seems like every time the ball goes central, it's a free kick to either team, because there's so many bodies in there, and it seems to be like, you know, triggers for both teams. The ball goes central, we need, you know, a lot of pressure, somebody really tight.
Iji. Anderson put it in first time. Got it down by Charles for Harder. She usually gobbles up chances like that.
It's a great move from Chelsea. I think you can see this is Anderson's second cross, and what a cross it is, though. Niamh Charles gets up early, she gets up high. I think you can see by Harder's reaction, she knows that it sat up well for her, and she really should be getting those shots on target. But, you know, I think in this game, I think Anderson on the left back and Mialda on the right back, I think they're going to be key, because they're going to be able to have the time and space to get balls into the box.
It's the top team in each group that goes through to the quarterfinals this season, with the two best placed second teams. Here's Bright. That's a great ball from loopholes. Ashley Neville couldn't get there. Can Anderson pick out a blue shirt just over Harder's head, but it'll be picked up by Mialda. In from Harder that time. Good shape about Spurs when they haven't got the ball. It's making it hard for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think anytime Chelsea try and probe centrally, it's a really difficult pass. There's a lot of bodies in there, but when Chelsea having the success going wide, going to Charles, going to Cuthbert or Anderson and Mialda, so they need to keep doing that.
There's a cheap giveaway, and Neville can look to put it into the Chelsea box here. She should have crossed it first time. It does come in from Leon, but Addison beaten to the ball by Mialda. Charles did really well to keep that in. Just past the midway point in the first half. Spurs have hit the post. Chelsea have had a couple of good opportunities, the best for Harder. Still waiting for the first goal, though.
But
Brought to ground that time by Neville. Again, it's a free kick in a central position.
It's nice movement from Cuthbert to come from the wide area into the central area, and she always looks so composed on the ball, so confident. You know, she has the ability to change her body weight in order to draw a foul or to skip by someone and start an attack and make something happen. I think when her and Harder are on the ball, especially in those final third areas, you know, you're waiting with enthusiasm that they always look like they're going to create something, and they're really exciting players and they can change the intensity.
Kerr turning it round the corner. Anderson's in behind again here. This is where Chelsea are getting a lot of joy. Cuthbert just couldn't quite bring it down, though. You can see why Emma Hayes is saying get it wide, because that's where all the opportunities are coming from on both flanks.
Yeah, that's right. Ewan Anderson, the powerful runs that she's having, and I think they're overloading in wide areas. Look, you know, we've got Cuthbert and Anderson there waiting out to receive the ball under no pressure. You know, you can see how high Millie Bright are and Eriksson are. That's how pinned back this Tottenham team is.
Can they carry on resisting? Good ball from Mjelde. Mjelde looking for room for a shot, maybe. Offloaded it to G instead. Task force Cuthbert wide. Gee, that's a clever ball. Nice 1-2 with Kerr. Kerr's got it back again. Stayed on her feet. I wonder if she'd gone down with the initial contact. Referee would have had a decision to make.
Really good link-up play by those two. You can see that's something from the training ground, isn't it? That they're on the same five-a-side team, and it's just little give and goes, and it's so hard to defend against. You can see Josie Green, Shalina Zadorsky don't know what to do, don't know who to follow, but really sharp play from them.
Cuthbert. Got it back from G. Kerr wanted it played her way. Lovely drop of the shoulder from G. Floated ball in was good too. Charles just couldn't quite stick out a toe and make contact. It's almost a battle of patience versus concentration, isn't it? Chelsea got to keep going, and Spurs have got to keep focused on the defending that they're being forced to do for the majority of the game.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they're in no hurry to take that goal kick. You know, give their chance to give their team a breather, concentration, refocus, communicate. But whereas, you know, a Chelsea team, they'll be wanting to get the ball in play, get the intensity, get the ball moving, and keep feeding the ball forward and keep making them connections.
Right, again, encouraged to have a wander. Long way to go back now. It's a Chelsea throw, though. Bright.
done. Well done. Done. No.
Now, this is where Tottenham will look to break. Dean's ball forward. Eriksson was well placed to deal with it.
That's definitely something Chelsea need to be mindful of. I think Rosella Ryan is very quick on the break. She's got good movement into spaces. So it's certainly something if Chelsea have, you know, that like they to have so far, so much possession, you know, they certainly need to be mindful and conscious of Tottenham on the transition. You can see loopholes there. She drops into between the two centre-backs, so Eriksson can get wider on the left and Millie Bright can come out, so almost like a back three to try and open up some more space.
Ball again from Anderson. And then G's shot was deflected, which could have taken it anywhere. In the end, it's gone behind for the first corner of the night.
Jonathan getting time and space at the ball out wide, delivers across, and G, you know, on the half volley, what a great strike that would have been. It would have been interesting to see exactly where that would have gone.
Going to work back to Mjelde. Here's Ayan again. G doing well. Half an hour gone, still Chelsea trying to make the breakthrough. Shauna Mahays will be wanting to try and get Sam Kerr a bit more involved. Not seen too much of her yet.
No, that's right. She's had a couple of link-ups with Harder, hasn't she? You know, a couple of balls have been played forward, but unfortunately she's been offside. But yeah, you would have liked to, you know, especially the positions that Maren Mjelde have got out on the right and Anderson on the left, you would have liked Sam Kerr to have got on the end of a couple of crosses. She's so good from crosses, in the air especially. You know, she's wholehearted. She attacks the ball so well. So you'd like to see her, like you say, be involved a little bit more. But in fairness to her, it is so crowded in them central areas. You can see how deep the two centre forwards are for Spurs.
Sprite's ball in toward Kerr, but the flag was up.
Like I was saying, in those moments, you know, you'd like to see. I've seen Sam Kerr previously playing the American League in the NWSL. You know, I've seen her movement. She's been on the back shoulder of a centre back, and as the ball's in the air, she gets in front and beats the centre back to the ball. You know, they're Sam Kerr's best moments because she's so good in the air. But you need to stay on side to be able to execute it.
No, está por ahí, vente para adentro. Tienes 10. No foul, no switch, no switch, no foul.
Anderson able to keep that one in. Just getting a little bit frustrating for Chelsea.
You can see some of the passing details are off, and that's probably exactly what we were talking about at the start of the game. Why you need to field a strong team so that you can get back to playing those connections and partnerships and making sure that those players are and getting those passing details right.
Ericsson gave it away. Spurs looking to hit Chelsea on the counter. Leon unable to link up with Ayan though.
I think Tottenham keep giving Chelsea little reminders that they're still quite dangerous on the break. And also in the second ball position, we've seen the Ria Percival head that second ball chance, so Chelsea really need to make sure that they're having so much possession that sometimes it's easier to lay off the out of possession stuff, which is like the second balls, tracking, all credit to G, tracking lay on there on the transition. So it's those things that you need to tidy up to make sure you really dominate and control this game.
Tug of the shirt of Charles, they'll give Chelsea another free kick. Beyond ball across. Cuthbert. Clipped over by Anderson again, but too close to Spencer.
Some really nice play from right to left, working it out to the left-hand side. Some sharp play between Cuthbert. It's just that final pass, isn't it? The final action in the final third that's lacking at the moment.
Nailed it. Coming deep just to try and get a feel of the ball.
Those straight balls from Ericsson into Kerr, picked it up, the kind of straight balls and kind of easy to, as a defending team, easy to read and pick off. And she's tried those a couple of times, but into those central areas, there's so many bodies that it's just being read quite quickly. It might need to go straight out to Anderson to then get it back to Ericsson to then go central.
She clips on out left side. Okay, making sure that Spencer had to kick it first time. Now can Cuthbert get on the end of this? She managed to force a corner.
It's a really good win by Ericsson to come out of the centre-back position and win that ball in the air. It just shows intent and puts Tottenham on the back foot. And your result is a corner.
Everybody lurking edge of the box. Now they'll make their way into the middle. Millie Bright always one to look out for from this kind of position. Wasn't a good delivery from Cuthbert though. Luke Bowles. Cares touch on. Can Chelsea find a goal before half-time here? Eriksson looking right side. Here's Mjelde. Harder. Past Neville. Past the second defender too. Went for it herself. Would have had to be something pretty special to beat Becky Spencer at a near post, but she's capable of it.
Yeah, she does so well when she picks up the ball. You know, she goes past Ashley Neville so easily with comfort. Does really, really, really well with that first touch. Neville overcompensates, dives in. And you can see why. I think if she was going for the far post, you can see why she makes that attempt, but she just tries to catch Becky Spencer, but it would have had to have been a, you know, a better shot to catch Becky Spencer at a near post.
On Riri, you inside.
Ashley Neville and her teammates not happy the free kick was given there, but the referee could hardly have been any closer.
Chelsea needs to focus on this set piece. I think the corner previously, you know, was really poor, didn't beat the first player. And you know, they've got such great set piece takers in G, Cuthbert, Anderson. You know, real big targets to hit.
Harder found a bit of space. Neville headed it away. Pressure's not gone yet though. Eriksson. Bright had stayed forward. Oh, what a hit that was on the volley from Millie Bright. It was a decent save too from Becky Spencer.
I think Becky saw it late, Becky Spencer saw it late, so it was a good stop, but well reacted. You know, Chelsea do well. Eriksson does really well to keep the ball alive here. And you can just see Millie Bright pick up the second ball, and that close chest control is harder than it looks. It comes down straight away, the chest control, and then to swing your left foot, that, you know, the way she got her hips round, so much power on the ball is a really good effort.
Any centre-backs can do that. Here's Harder. Chelsea finishing the half strongly.
We saw how well Millie Bright can strike a ball in the Community Shield the first game of the season.
Yeah.
So never underestimate Millie Bright.
She'll be talking about that 40-yarder she hit at Wembley for a long, long time.
And rightly so. I'm surprised she hasn't tried one tonight, because that's kind of what it needs, what it feels like. What it needs is going to break this deadlock. You can see Becky Spencer in no rush to take this. You know, I'm sure, like you say, the Tottenham squad will be happy to get in at half-time 0-0 and to put in quite a robust performance, first-half performance.
Remember, this is a Spurs team whose only win in all competitions this season came in their previous game against lower league opposition in the Lionesses.
It's proving to be a good battle on that left-hand side. Cuthbert versus Neville. There's some strong challenges going in. We know that Cuthbert doesn't shy away from a challenge or a battle. We've seen her play superbly well against Lucy Bronze in the Man City game and come out on top. She was exceptional that day.
Bright. Slid it into Harder. Well won by Bright. She's managing to keep it away from Mayan. Floated in by Cuthbert. And lacked the power that Kerr was looking for into just 1 minute of added time at the end of the half. That might be the last chance for Chelsea to score before the whistle blows. Harder. Loopholes. Never easily able to get that clear. She just about time if Chelsea are quick. She onto her left foot, floated it in nicely. There is the half-time whistle. A frustrating first half for Chelsea here at Kingsmeadow. Spurs have come as close as the Blues to scoring. Verme's free kick early on coming back off the post. Millie Bright had a really good effort, well saved for Chelsea. Pernilla Harder missed what by her standards was an excellent chance. No goals at the break, all to play for in the second 45. Then at half-time the score, Chelsea 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Okay, well, during half-time, we are going to catch up with what else has been going on around the club. Last night, the under-18s were in FA Youth Cup final action. It didn't go their way, though, against Manchester City. We can see the...
A women's football match is a football match.
Un equip de futbol femení és un equip de futbol.
Un regate de una jugadora es un regate.
Un paradón es un paradón.
Un golazo es un golazo. Passion for football is passion for football. Football isn't for girls, nor for boys. Football is for footballers.
To go on and get 2 points then, of course, now, which could give them a big advantage in terms of either finishing top or as one of the second best teams.
Yeah, that's right. And I think if, you know, it was a big... I think Tottenham are looking for the performance indicators. I think they have a big game at the weekend against Reading. You know, and I think they need... I think more importantly for Tottenham, they probably need to start picking up points in the league But yeah, I think if they can you know, finish the game as draw against Chelsea, I think that'll be a big plus for them, because it certainly will be a big shift that they'll have to put in to do that.
Yeah, Spurs playing Reading. That game has been moved from Sunday to Saturday. Chelsea are here again on Sunday against Everton in the league. Everton beaten in the FA Cup final, as Laura mentioned, at the weekend. Final group game in this competition for both of them is 3 weeks from tonight. 3 weeks and a day, I should say. Doesn't look like there's been any immediate changes. All smiles still from the Chelsea girls. Surely well aware that they were the team on top in the first half, and it's just a case of keeping on going, really, and hoping the breakthrough comes.
Yeah, that's right. I think being ultra patient in possession, don't force the play, don't get frustrated, keep moving it side from side. I think we need to see more switches from certainly Eriksson and Millie Bright. They certainly have a long ball in their locker, a switch that they can execute very precisely.
Spurs obviously aware of that, aren't they? Because we heard that so many times from the coach. Don't foul, don't switch.
Yeah, that's right. They'll know exactly what they do. I'm sure they've been rehearsing in training, going through, you know, what spaces they're going to allow Chelsea to have, and certainly those spaces that they're not going to allow Chelsea to have.
Chelsea, this phenomenal record at home that I mentioned, won the last 11 here, all competitions. Haven't lost a domestic game here since February of last year, when Manchester City were victorious here. Chelsea double winners last season, this competition, and via the most narrow points per game method you could ever imagine, 0.1 of a point, they were awarded the title on ahead of Manchester City, and beat City in the Community Shield right at the start of this season. So one piece of silverware already in the bag. Shoveled forward by G. Kerr's not going to be able to get to it though. High press from Spurs, meaning Berger has to go long to get rid of it. Here's Neville. Trying to get away from Cuthbert. That'll go in the other way just for a moment. Neville lost her footing, no foul. It's not a good clearance though. Nails ball in. Straight at Millie Bright, managed to keep it away from Ayan.
Like you say, we can see Tottenham higher up the pitch, pressing in numbers, pressing higher up the pitch with a little bit more intent than we saw for the whole of the first half, I think.
Anderson. It's one back by Rhea Percival. Whipped in by Ayan. It's a good ball as well. Berger rolled it out quickly for G, looking to get Chelsea over halfway here. Got options left and right. to the channel for Kerr. Spurs want offside, and they get it too.
Just really disappointing from a Chelsea perspective. We can see the intensity, how quick Berger threw it out. G made up so much ground so quickly, and that's for everybody else, for a Chelsea teammate, that's your sign, that's your signal that you're looking for. That's when you make your runs. You know, leave G as much time and space as she can get. You know, how quickly Berger throws it out. She eats up the ground so well. Tottenham are on the back foot, and you just need to make those clever runs, and it's just, you know, it's just Tottenham do hold the line quite well, but you'd like to think that a little bit more focus from Kerr's point of view, because that could have been a really good opportunity.
Ayan. Back from Green. Don't let them out was the cry from the coach, but Kerr wasn't able to hold it up. Not been her night so far. She came in with a strong challenge. Referee didn't see anything wrong with it.
Good reaction from Kerr, though. That's what you want to see from a teammate. You know, if you unfortunately don't hold it up or have a bad touch, you want to see the reaction. You don't want to see disappointment and feeling sorry for yourself. You want to see the reaction, win back the ball as quick as you can, and all credit to her, she did that.
Trying to slide rule through ball. Gee, it's a good challenge from Percival. Unlucky for her that it went straight to, or Dean rather, it's unlucky for her it went straight to a Chelsea player. Sloppy from Bright, got lucky that it came back her way. Looking to give Chelsea that bit of width, finding Anderson, who was so effective in the first half. Not been a great start to the second period from Chelsea, though.
I just think it's hard to find that passing rhythm, isn't it? It's either a poor execution of a pass, wrong decision. But all credit to Tottenham, they are stifling and frustrating Chelsea. You know, anything going centrally, there's a lot of bodies there. Tottenham doing well to read it. You know, it's which player from the Chelsea perspective is going to step up and be the difference and make something happen.
Maybe it will be somebody from the bench. Pointing out again, it's not since the 11th of October that Chelsea's most recent game was. They were supposed to play Aston Villa in the league, but that game was postponed because Villa had positive COVID tests in the international break, which of course has affected Spurs as well. Well, one back by Rihanna Dean. The first time effort was cute as well, and it had Berger scrambling just for a second. What a goal that would have been.
A really good spot, wasn't it? I think Magdalena Eriksson, you know, she's looking for the pass, but, you know, she gets caught on the ball, but all credit to Dean, she works so hard. And look at that, I'm not too sure, you know, Berger does well, I think she had it covered, but it certainly was asking a lot of questions for a long period of time. But again, I think you can see Eriksson's reaction. She claps her hands together as if to say, focus, come on, you're better than that. You know, that's certainly, at this point in the game, you don't want to give Tottenham any more encouragement to come on to you. But it certainly needs to be a wake-up call for Chelsea. I think in these types of games, this is where you need to take individual responsibility, make sure that everything you do, every action, you know, is utmost near enough to perfection. Make sure the pass gets there to the right side, to the right foot. You know, give it with communication, either on the ball or verbally. You know, make sure that everything you do is precise and to the point.
Here's Cuthbert. Neville had a nibble but didn't get there. Cuthbert's cross cleared as far as the edge of the box. Loopholes moving it on one more. Here's Mjelde. Will be a Chelsea corner.
Like that little passage of play, that came from G, putting it into space with the right weight of pass. You know, and it's infectious, sorry. If one person does it, the next person does it, the next teammates, and it's infectious, and it's surprising how quickly those good traits go through your team. But you need someone to set the standard and set it off.
Going to be an in-swinger from Jonna Andersson. It's a good ball as well, and it was Ashley Neville, right place, right time, inside the 6-yard box to get the block on. Now Spurs will look to break. Chelsea maybe just beginning to click into gear in the second half here. Harder. It's a good ball, and the header just couldn't quite generate the power. Difficult to do that.
Yeah, it was a great ball in, wasn't it? And finally Kerr found herself and marked. So here's the corner. It was a really good near post delivery. I'm not too sure who got the final touch, but Ashley Neville was positioned well.
No foul there. There's loopholes. Where's the ball going to drop? Cleared away before Kerr could get it. Loopholes battling again. Bit too much force that time.
Let's go.
Activity on the Chelsea bench. Well, it's not been Sam Kerr's night, I think it's fair to say. We talked about her undoubted quality. She's shown it this season in the WSL. She is the player being withdrawn. No surprise that the replacement is Bethany England, top scorer in this competition last season. She got 2 against Spurs when these two met in the group stage last term, and she got that belter at Stamford Bridge in the first league game of last season. Pernilla Harder's coming off as well. And it is the Canadian international Jess Fleming who's going to come on in the second substitution. Only 22, she's already got more than 70 caps for her country. Big call by Emma Hayes to take those two off.
Yeah, but I think, you know, I'm sure that, you know, we're not privy to exactly what these pair have been executing in training. Sometimes, you know, your training performance gets you in the team, it gets you subbed on. But we certainly know the qualities of Beth England, a little bit different to Sam Kerr.
She's straight into the action here, England. It's a really good challenge to make sure that she couldn't get a strike at goal away.
And we get to see the strengths and the qualities of Jessie Fleming. I know she's very highly rated by her Canadian teammates, and very highly rated in the college system in America, but having left that a little bit earlier to come and play pro in England, you know, I'm sure if she would have finished college and entered the draft, she would have been highly sought after from the NWSL club. So she really has a really good worldwide reputation already for how young she is.
Yeah, UCLA Bruins she came from. That's her on the ball now. Not much difference between Los Angeles and Kings Meadow. Especially on a November night. Should be used to the chill from Canada, of course. Here's Eriksson. Guess there might be an element of managing minutes in taking Kieran Harder off. Oh my goodness me, well that could have been... It could have been a goal. It's ended up being very, very painful for the Spurs player, who's been completely wiped out by Berger's clearance, which was obviously not the intention of the Chelsea goalkeeper.
That we can see how quickly it wiped Ayan off her feet. She wasn't expecting that, and like you say, Berger was going to clear it, so she cleared it with some force, some power. And that's certainly going to be a painful one. Fingers crossed she's okay.
Berger doesn't look too concerned. Yeah, I think it's more, hopefully, the back than the head.
That we've seen nowadays, you have to be so careful and so diligent with concussion protocols, for sure.
Yeah, it won't be Rosella Ayan's decision as to whether she's okay to continue or not. It will be the Spurs medical staff who will make that call. Gives Chelsea the opportunity, as we're seeing though here, just to have an in-game meeting, which can often be quite useful, can't it?
Yeah, sure, for sure. It's about the leaders stepping up and about everyone having a voice. You know, there's still half an hour, there's still plenty of time. And like I was saying earlier, it's about who's going to get, you know, take this game by the scruff of the neck, who's going to make the difference, who's going to step up and deliver that match-winning moment. And they certainly have game changers, match winners on that pitch. So it's about, you know, the majority of the team, the foundation of the team doing their job properly, defending properly, making sure that they execute their jobs role perfectly. But which attacking player is going to step up and be the difference?
The ball was in the box when she blew. No, it ended up outside. When she blew, it was inside the box.
No such thing as a contested drop ball these days, of course. Berger playing centre mid just for a second. Here's loopholes. It's a clever flick. She just couldn't quite get on the end of it. Anderson. Appeals for handball there. Here's Anderson. Guro Wrighton also came on in that change, by the way, a moment ago. It was a triple substitution. Niamh Charles was withdrawn for her. So it's an entirely new front three out there for Chelsea now. All of them experienced international footballers. In from Bright. Catching practice for Spencer. This was a handball shout. Who knows these days, but I think that would have been very harsh.
That's right, it's confusing enough without VAR, so...
Anderson. It's a weak clearance straight back to Anderson. Here's Xi. Might think about a shot from distance here. Really good block. That was travelling again. Body's being put on the line for Spurs.
You can see why G had the thought process to shoot. The ball was under control nicely. It was out of her feet and the space was opened up. But like you say, all credit to Ria Percival, who threw her body on the line, blocked the shot.
It's change of the evening for Spurs.
She's going to help in front, okay? She's helping in front of you two.
Luciana Leon is the player who's been withdrawn. And Solana Kennedy's come on to take her place, scored in that win in the first group game against London City Lionesses.
Solana Kennedy will offer a little bit more robustness in centre midfield. You know, on the ball, she's got a really rangy distribution. She can great long balls, you know, and out of possession, she's full of energy. She breaks up play, and also can get forward to support the front line. So that strengthened their centre midfield area.
Here's Cuthbert. Right. Forward by Xi. Right in with the 1-2 off Ayan. Anderson's ball wouldn't quite run for Fleming. And Fleming then left her boot in. It'll be the first card of the night.
I think that's harsh. I'm not too sure how late she was. I think it was a foul, but yeah, I think that's really harsh. But before then, we can see how the intent of Guro Wrighton, I think she twists and turns, she manipulates the ball and her body so well, she can get her defenders. But I think I'd like to see Eriksson and Bright step into midfield more, draw more players, overload. Because as soon as you start to draw players, you can open up spaces for other people. They certainly have the capabilities to do that. They're very composed in possession, both ball-playing centre-backs. But also I respect that they have to be mindful of the transition and make sure they do their defensive roles.
Aaron, narrow off. Guru on the second phase.
Picked up into the air by Loopholes. England challenging for it, broke kindly. And got a touch to that. Should be a good game for Spurs. G. And again.
This game reminds me of the game that Tottenham played against Arsenal in the FA Cup. You know, for 70 minutes they were robust, deep, you know.
Cuthbert going for it. Oh, and it's crept in. And just like that, Chelsea have got the lead. Erin Cuthbert bought a ticket and she's won the raffle. Spencer won't be happy with how that's crept in beyond her. But she almost made your point for you there, Laura.
I was just about to go on and say that it took to the 71st minute, I think, for Arsenal to break the deadlock. And it was something similar to that, a long-range shot from Jordan Nobbs. And I think, you know, we spoke about Millie Bright taking a shot earlier, you know, but all credit to Cuthbert. She's had a touch and, you know, like you say, if you don't buy the ticket, you don't win the prize. So, you know, all credit to her. I think Becky Spencer could have done better, but we haven't seen any long-range shots so far, so it probably took her by surprise. But, you know, all credit to Cuthbert for having the, you know, positivity to take the shot.
4th goal of the season in all competitions for Erin Cuthbert. It's been a slog for Chelsea to get to this point, but now they do have the lead. And Tottenham will have to come out a little bit more now as they look for an equaliser. But as we've seen, they are capable of testing and Katrin Berger.
Going long, G, don't get drawn underneath. Now get round the second phase here.
Again! Come on, we gotta work!
Get the second phase right here.
I think you can hear Emma Hayes saying we've got to work out of possession, because, you know, I'm sure she wants her team to go on and score 2 and 3, not rest on the 1-0. She wants to keep pushing, and then, you know, really test her players out there.
We are too wide and too forward. Inside and defense. Come inside and a little bit deeper. Here you go. There you go. Good. Run. Go with them. Second line. Corner.
Spurs wanted a corner, but it's a goal kick.
Nice.
Spurs aren't going to go hell for leather for an equaliser straight away, are they? And it's difficult to switch the mentality like that anyway if you've been defending for the whole game.
Yeah, that's right. It's certainly easier said than done. You'd like to think that they would, but like I say, when you've had that mindset, that discipline, get back into shape, get compact, get next to your teammate, get deep, you know, it's then hard to say, you know, a flick of a switch or, you know, just a communication, right, get high. It's hard to change that mindset. The top teams can do it in and out of games and have spells, but it's really hard.
Anderson up to win the header. Neville away. Only found loopholes though.
Yeah, number 1, yeah. Yeah, next one the ball goes out.
Anderson. Here's Cuthbert. Turned around the corner by England. Wrighton wasn't quite ready for it. Managed to hook it back across goal impressively though, Wrighton. And on the stretch, the header goes just over the bar.
It's another really good move by Chelsea though, moving the ball, limited touches. Cuthbert does so well to keep possession of the ball while holding off a defender. And Wrighton delivers a really good ball. You just know she's going to chip that back post. And Beth England looks surrounded by 3 players and still the first person to get the first contact.
Here's Bright.
With that, Riri. Last bit, Riri. Last bit, give me the last bit. Go with that. Together, Ashley. Ashley, go.
Anderson did well. He's come through to Neville. Deflection on the cross. Oh, chance for an equaliser. What a save from Berger. First time she's really been called into action, and she came up with the answer, the Chelsea keeper.
And that's why Anke Berger's one of the, well, if not one of the best, but definitely not the, you know, maybe the best goalkeeper in the league. For moments like that, she's had hardly anything to do, but, you know, for concentration and focus, and then to pull out a save like that is absolutely brilliant.
Spurs' first corner of the game. Berger came and didn't get it that time. I'll have another go from the other side, Tottenham.
Hey, come on, Spurs! Come on, Spurs! Come on, girl! Lucy, Gemma, you need
Harris
to be
Neville among those forward from the back.
Come on!
It's a good ball, a really good header though from Bright, out as far as Green. All hands on deck at the back at the moment for Chelsea. And Chelsea made another change, by the way. Our camera missed it. Was Maria Thorsdottir has come on in place of Maren Mjelde, Norwegian international for another. Spurs putting on some heavy pressure now inside the final 15 minutes.
Yeah, I can see keeper. I can see keeper.
Come on, Ash.
Optimistic shout for handball there, I think it's fair to say. Well, Chelsea crushed Spurs 5-1 when they met in the group stages last season. Been a totally different story tonight. Berger backpedaling, has to palm that one over for another corner.
Spurs certainly have the momentum. They're asking a lot of questions and making sure that Chelsea defend these corners properly. Yeah, it's a good ball there. Any little touch. And it's a bit disappointed that maybe a big player like Alana Kennedy, Kes Harrop weren't putting pressure on the keeper.
Spurs want to make a substitution here. They're going to wait till after the corner.
Can you give me your bit of thing, please, as well? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Or maybe not.
Right, Chelsea had all their stuff now.
It's Chelsea bringing on the fifth and final change, and it's the number 5, Sophie Ingle, who won a 100th cap for Wales over the break. Headed away at the near post.
I do think Millie Bright and Eriksson have, every first contact that they've had, they've won, they've been so dominant. And certainly aerially they've been very dominant tonight.
Such a benefit for a club like Chelsea with such a hugely deep squad to be able to bring on 5 subs in a game like this, isn't it? Hugh's gone off, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, like you say, you're replacing them with one top international with another one. They all play slightly different, all have different strengths. But they certainly just keep adding quality to this squad, to this team.
Indicative of how the game's gone in the last few minutes, that England, more defensive-minded midfielder, has come on for G. Here's Anderson. Feel like a second goal for Chelsea kills it once and for all. As it is, it's still on the knife edge. Here's loopholes. Spurs back in their positions now. Good ball in from Anderson. Picked up by Cuthbert. Oh, and the deflection almost did for Spencer. It's behind for a corner.
It's really slick down this left-hand side. I think Guro Wrighton comes in field, receives the ball on the half turn, and she just knows where Anderson's going to be and feeds it to her. And we've seen how dangerous Anderson has been on the run, delivering crosses, and it always causes problems for Tottenham.
Wrighton's going to take the corner. Inside the final 10 minutes.
23 coming off for 9.
Spurs making another change again. Rihanna Dean has toiled and worked hard up front. It'll be a double change, as you can see. Another former Chelsea player coming on in Gemma Davison. And Lucy Quinn also on into the action as Spurs look for a late leveller.
Okay, just there again, yeah, there again, number 7.
Davison won 2 WSL titles, including the Spring Series and an FA Cup in her time as a Blue. Former Reading player as well.
I'm sure all the Chelsea fans, players and squads know the strengths and how dangerous Gemma Davison can be, especially when she picks up the ball and runs with it. So it just goes to show that Chelsea need to do a professional job tonight all the way through, because Tottenham have brought on a few different strengths.
It's a ball from Fleming into the channel. Spurs struggling to get it clear here. It's come for Cuthbert. Right, and penalised. Well, even if they go on and lose this game, there's plenty for Spurs to take from it, I think, because they have been beaten heavily a couple of times this season, but they've defended really well tonight.
Yeah, I think I've seen performances exactly like this one before, and you know, I think defensively they can stay in games, they're organised, they compete well for first and second balls, but it's been about how are they going to create more goal-scoring opportunities. Like you say, they have caused Chelsea a few problems tonight, but it's been more consistent, making sure they're capitalising of those moments when they're on top and they have momentum. So they certainly will be encouraged by it.
Still might be something in it for them. Here's England. Ingle, we know she can hit them from there. She says penalty, referee agrees. And Chelsea will have the chance to wrap up the points. It'll be interesting to see the replay. Not sure how much the Spurs player could have done about it. But Melanie Loopholes isn't bothered about that.
Kez Harrick comes flying out. I think she has got her arm protecting her face.
It's the right decision, though. Loopholes against Spencer. Spencer may be at fault for the opening goal. Can she atone for that here? Oh, she nearly did. She got a good strong hand to it, but Loopholes gets the goal, and it's surely the goal that gives Chelsea 3 points in their second game here.
I think Mara Mialda normally takes the penalties, but having already gone off, Loopholes steps up, and like you say, Becky Spencer guesses the right way, but there's too much power on it for Becky Spencer to keep it out, and in the end, she executes it with just enough power. It was probably a nice height for a keeper, though.
She'd be disappointed, won't she, having got a hand to it. Anyway, it's Luke Poll's second goal for Chelsea, and the Blues' second goal of the night, which ought to be enough to secure the victory.
But again, it comes from Chelsea having a shot, taking an early shot from top of the box. We haven't seen that. They try to be maybe a little bit too precise or rely on attempts from crosses. I certainly think they have the ability in this team for more long-range shots, and you know, we've certainly seen in the women's game some keepers get caught out.
Oh, Lucy, Alana, go high. There you go, on the 8, on the 8, on the 8. Good. Go on, Gemma. Go on, Gas, Gas.
Right up to Ingle. Lovely first time touch, trying to bring in Bethany England.
Both teams can do it.
Lucy, in.
Those latest Spurs changes confirmed. Chelsea determined to play out from the back even with that Spurs press. Something that we see so often now, isn't it, at every level of football? Teams determined to do that. I guess it's a percentages thing, isn't it? You know, if you, more often than not, you don't lose possession doing that. Whereas if you kick it long up to halfway, you've got a 50-50 chance of getting the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think you're playing into Tottenham's hands. I think they're quite good and centrally in the centre midfield areas for height, for physical prowess. So, you know, if you can retain the ball, if you can play through a high press, and you know, we've just seen how composed Sophie Ingle was then to receive it off the back line, you know, do some work on the ball, twist and turn, and to play it out wide. So if you certainly have those composed players in centre midfield areas, like you say, you're definitely more likely to keep the ball and manipulate the opposition while you're doing that.
Bright will carry it out of defence for Chelsea, finds Bethany England. Cuthbert making a run ahead of her. Not much right side at the moment. It's a lovely ball through for Fleming, almost got on the end of it. Chelsea no need to get defenders forward down the flanks at this stage of the game, of course.
Go, Gemma, go, close to the 9, close to the 9. Go, Angela. Go, Gemma. Go, up. Angela, up. Angela, up. Kiri, push Angela. Go, Gemma, up. Go, Nazi, come. Go on the ball, Alana. Wait. It's okay, Alana, it's okay. Yoshi!
Spurs going to make another change right at the end here. Anisha Sulola is going to take the place of Josie Green. Sulola, who's come through the youth system at Spurs, made her debut in the competition last season. Actually scored a goal in the FA Cup last season too. This was a little short for loopholes. Let's come back to Eriksson.
Go, step, Angela. Come on, go, Lucy. Hang it up. Step, Alicia. Go.
England got the flick on. Right, and chasing it down. Good defending from the experienced Harrop. Steady on G.
Thankfully, she's not a keeper.
To 4 minutes of stoppage time. Without that second goal, we'd be a bit nervous now. It's not the stuffing out of Spurs, though. Good strength from loopholes under the challenge from Neville. England out wide. Opportunity for a third here. Oh, good save. It was England, actually, he was in the middle. Anderson had put it in, and Spencer that time managed to get the block in.
That's a really good save.
Corner.
Really good save from Becky Spencer. Great cross. And I think Reiter means that. I think she does well to roll it up her body and just to help it on with whatever she could between the two centre-backs. And Beth England's there. She's alive. She's ready to take it.
Yeah, looking at her again, that was an incredible touch from Reiter.
Yeah, but she has a look. She means it.
Cuthbert's corner. Appeals for another penalty there. Referee says no this time. Here's Davison. First real chance for her to show what she can do. Great tackle from Bright.
Go on, stay back, go on.
Neville fouling loopholes. That ought to be a yellow card, really.
I think Ashley Neville has put some really powerful tackles in, some on time, some not on time. I think that's a fair decision from the referee. Certainly we saw the one before on Leupolds who managed to, to take it well, but it certainly was late.
You must have to play full-back then if your name's Neville. Is that how it works?
Apparently it's the law.
Eriksson's free kick. Threatened to be awkward just for a moment. It's not the best clearance. The referee a bit quick on the whistle there.
Come on. Alana. Alicia, come on, we'll go there. Angela, second ball. No, Gemma, get in that road, here. Go on, get there. Selena. Go on there. Come on, Alicia, go back. Come on, it's first. In the air. Go on, One of you, Gemma. Second ball, Siri. Come on.
Forward by Neville. Away by Fleming.
Martin! Go together! Go Alana! Step in, step! Come on, till the end!
Maybe time for a third goal for Chelsea. Here's Anderson. It's a great ball over the top, looking for Wrighton. Almost dropped away too. Picked up by Sophie Ingle. There is the final whistle. It's 2 wins from 2 for Chelsea at the start of their defence of the Conti Cup. They had to wait for the breakthrough here against Tottenham. It came through Erin Cuthbert on 70 minutes, and then Loopholes with the penalty inside the final 10 just to wrap up the victory. Spurs had their moments, hit the post in the first half, came close on a couple of occasions after the break too, but Chelsea just about deserved winners here. Final score at Kingsmeadow, Chelsea 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Let's have a look back at the key moments of the match then. For so long, Laura, it was a frustrating game for Chelsea, and it could have been different had that gone in from Siri Verm. Yeah,
early on, especially how well she executed that, and you know, I think I've seen her score those goals, especially for a country. You know, she's a very good player from set pieces.
And then, actually, into the second half, this was almost a goal to remember from Maya.
Yeah, there was constant reminders from Tottenham to make sure that Chelsea play properly, defend properly, and make sure they don't dwell on the ball. And on a different day, that could have been a different story.
But eventually, Chelsea's pressure told. They did have lots of chances in the first half. But it was a speculative effort, really, from Erin Cuthbert.
Yeah, she does well. She gets in between the lines. She takes it on her back foot. And she just unleashes the shot that we know that she has. But, you know, that touch sets her up. It sits up nicely, and she just rockets it.
Tottenham were pressing, and Katrin Berger, she stood and watched with the free kick that hit the bar, but that was a brilliant stop.
It certainly was, and you can see how disappointed Rosella Ryan was. I think she thought that was in, but you can see Katrin Berger positioning, she's ready. And, you know, we've seen her make huge saves like that time and time again, and that's what she's there to do.
Chelsea's substitutions helped influence the game, and England helping to set up Sophie Ingle for the shot. And no doubt that it was a penalty, the ball striking Harrop on the hands from close range.
Beth England does well to set Sophie Ingle up, and you can see her shaping up for a shot.
Loopholes just about put it away. Any penalty that goes in is a good penalty, I guess.
Indeed.
And it was almost 3-0 at the end. Spencer, the former Chelsea goalkeeper, preventing her old side from scoring again. Beth England denied that. No doubt that Chelsea deserved it, though, I think.
That's right. I think it's been a really good test for them. I think, yes, performances, I've seen them play a lot better, but in terms of minutes, in terms of what they wanted to achieve, a clean sheet, I think defensively they were strong. And going forward, like you say, scoring goals and getting a lot of minutes, and you know, they can push on now and look ahead for Sunday's game.
As you can see, the debriefs are going on pitch side. A couple of things to point you in the direction of before we leave you tonight. You can see highlights of this game later on the fifth stand, and then from 10 to 7 tomorrow, it's all the build-up to Chelsea versus Rennes Matchday 3 of the Champions League. Join Joe Flemings and co for that.